Happy Monday, Houston. I'm KHOU meteorologist Kim Castro. Has it felt hot? Because it has been. Here's a review of our September so far for the month. We've had 9 days above average, 4 of them below. For context, we should be at 91 degrees for this time of year. You notice we had those few days last week where temperatures were actually really nice. Humidity was nice and low. That was short-lived. High pressure made a return, and with high pressure, we have high heat. But we're in good company. We're not the only ones that are seeing temperatures above average. You'll notice a huge swath of the country, with the exception of, maybe New England. The very, very far northeast is not seeing this big heat dome, but the rest of us are. And so because of that, plan on these above average temperatures sticking around through much of the month. At least through September 25th, above average temperatures do remain. Check it out. That's NRG Stadium, where things are going to be very exciting. Just a little later on today, I'm talking about our Texans taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'll have that forecast for you in a second. But all in all, our Monday shapes up like this: 94 degrees, 30% chance for some isolated showers in the afternoon. Still holding on to a chance for a couple of stray showers really through much of the 7-day forecast, but drops off a little bit for tomorrow into Wednesday at 20%. The heat sticks around though. Notice in terms of rain potential across the country, the higher bullseye for above average rain is going to be along the west coast. So this is Washington down to Oregon, California, in case you have some PTO and you're planning places to visit, and maybe you do want to see the rain since we've been so hot here. You do want a little bit of vegetation in your life. Maybe you do go to also the national parks like Yosemite. The sequoias in California are really beautiful. Oregon's really nice. Pacific Northwest is beautiful. Or, New Mexico, Arizona, those are spots that are going to be a little bit more lush. For us, it's a very, very small chance of above average rain, and we actually do want to start seeing a little rain coming our way as well, because so far for the month, we're already more than 1.5 inches below where we should be, and for the year, well, that deficit keeps growing. So we're at 6.5 inches below what's normal for this time of year. We should be at 36 inches. Now, how does the rest of the week shape up? So all in all, this week, the rain potential is pretty low. You'll notice the Panhandle could pick up a couple of inches. There's a potential for a little bit of rain from Corpus down to South Texas, Brownsville. But for us, there's some green on the map, but not a lot of accumulation. And that kind of checks out with what I'm seeing on radar. So there's nothing really to track here. We've got a mixture of sun and clouds. There's some showers to our west. And there's a chance that some of these sea breeze showers could push in a little later on this afternoon. I think the highest likelihood of that is timing out to be between 2 and 5, but look, I'm not really seeing much of anything on our future track models. Now tomorrow morning, we could see a couple of showers along the immediate coastline. I think the highest likelihood for the placement of these will be further west as well. So Brazoria and Matagorda. I'm not convinced that Galveston's going to get too much shower activity. So if you do commute along the Gulf Freeway, I think you should be just fine. Rain potential is pretty static, so it is an isolated run-of-the-mill thunderstorm chance today all the way through the end of the work week. Notice the models take a snapshot right around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So this does show us something that's being picked up by the models 4 o'clock in the afternoon today, but the rest of the day is just not a lot of activity whatsoever. So maybe that morning shower on our Tuesday, maybe another morning shower on Wednesday. The afternoon should be okay. That covers the rain potential. That's not to say that there's not going to be moisture that's available out there, because there is. We've got a pretty humid week. Not as humid as it could be, so we could see those dew points pretty static in the 70s. I think today is going to be pretty humid, tomorrow's going to be pretty humid, and then we start to see just a little decline in the humidity. But all in all, we'll definitely be using this graphic, which compares the actual air temperature to the heat index, what it feels like on your skin when you add in the humidity. So right now, feels 2 degrees different. Bush 87 feels like 89. Same thing, Hobby 89 feels like 91. Sugar Land, you have a little bit of a bigger spread. Conroe 2, 4 degree spread there. 90 in Sugar Land feels like 94. Conroe 88 feels like 92. All in all, a pretty nice day to be outside, although I do want you to be aware that We could see a little bit of excess ground level ozone, Harris, Brazoria, and Galveston. So we do have a ozone action day. That means just keep an eye on air quality, especially if you already know that you have, let's say, a kiddo that has asthma and they have outdoor soccer practice or something today. That might be something that you monitor. Otherwise, I think a lot of us are going to be outside celebrating a big game today. Texans against the Buccaneers at 6 o'clock. We'll still be pretty hot at that point. I think we're going to be in the low to mid 90s with sunshine overhead, lots of humidity, so it's going to feel like you're right around 100 degrees. We're carefree today, but I do want you to check in and get updates on the tropics because we're watching this area that could become our next named storm in the central Atlantic right now with an 80% chance for development. So if you didn't get an update this weekend and this is your latest update, it's jumped up significantly in its potential for development. It's moving into a more favorable environment, and so this is what the models have in store for it. So traveling through the MDR, it goes into pretty favorable conditions. It's got the warm waters, it's got a moisture source overhead, and not a ton of wind shear. So with that, it will develop throughout this week. That's a snapshot at Saturday. As we go into the following week, now we're looking at Wednesday, the 24th. You'll notice the models do have it taking a turn, intensifying, so it could potentially have impacts to Bermuda. This would be a good scenario for the continental U.S. as it stays a good safe distance away. 7-day forecast, so each and every day is pretty similar, so that's good for planning. If you had something that you were trying to do outside this week, I think expect an isolated shower here and there, possible, but you're not going to see hours of heavy rain, thunderstorms, nothing like that. 20 to 30% chance for isolated, even coastal showers through Friday. I think by this weekend, the rain chances scale back a little bit. And if you want even more of a heads up, I was looking at the models for the coming week. It looks like we could have a front on Tuesday of next week. So that's your little teaser that I leave you with. That could spike up those rain chances. I didn't see a huge drop in temperatures just yet, but I'll keep you posted as we get just a little bit closer to that time frame. Our next newscast is with meteorologist Pat Kavlin at 4 o'clock, and then our chief, David Paul, is with you at 5, 6, and 10. Don't forget to stay up to date with the forecast. Have a good Monday.